Massive thanks to all of my supporting members and patrons. Thank you all so very much. Hello, good evening and welcome to you all. Hope you're enjoying the weather, because I'm not. I don't do hot. I've spent basically all day in here with the aircon on and it's been nice and quiet, and about 10 minutes ago it started that squeaking, so it's had to go off, and I've just opened up all the windows and fingers crossed I don't get toasted. So I hope you're all doing well anyway. Tonight the guest is TJump. I hope you've come across him. I've certainly come across him quite a bit on modern day debates. He was here and he's disappeared again, so he's just dropped out, so I'm not quite sure what's happening. So we'll hang fire on Tom and get him back in and on the stream when he's back. And as I said, we're just going to, as I said in the description, we're just going to have a bit of chat. He's done debates about flat earth, he's done debates about various religious things, creationism and so on, and we might even finally come to a decision as to the right way to squeeze toothpaste. Is it in the middle or always at the end? And if so, which end? And it looks like the man has just reappeared, so we'll get him on in the next couple of minutes. If you haven't heard of it, I just started that second channel I talked about way back in about March. It's called God of Small Worlds, so please check it out. Perhaps one of the mods can pop a link for it in the side chat thingy. God of Small Worlds, where I'm running ecospheres, little sealed worlds. The first video's out, but in fact we're nearly ready for an update, because the project's been running for at least 3 months and I've got more to come. Right, I see that we got quite a few people in here, including people who saw TJump on Fight the Flat Earth channel, which is one I haven't yet seen yet, so we'll have to have a chat about that, I'm sure. I think, without further ado, well, actually a little bit of an ado, Mr. Yellow Earth Observer still has not come back to me about having a debate. Yellow Earth Observer, if you are watching, there is £2,600 pledged to the registered charity of your choice if you turn up for a debate with me. You don't have to win it, so there's no arguing over whether you won or not. Just turn up and have a debate, and £2,600 has been pledged. That's got to be good. Because you're not yellow, are you? You aren't, are you? Or is he? Maybe he is. I don't know. Let's get the man in then. So if you're listening, TJump, I'll give you about 20 seconds, and then I'm going to pull you into the live waiting room, and we'll get you on here. I'm looking forward to this, because I've not sort of spoken to TJump before, and it's nice to have a new and different guest. Let's get him in now. Hello, good evening, TJump.
Hey, how's it going?
Not so bad, thanks. Not so bad. And how are you?
I'm really, really tired, actually. I was been up since like 3 a.m. or something, just on a really weird sleep schedule. So.
And what time have you got there? It's just gone 9 p.m. here.
It's 3 p.m., so I've been up
12 hours. What were you doing getting up at 3 a.m. then?
I have a delayed circadian rhythm, so my sleep schedule just changes automatically every once in a while, and so I just have to force myself to wake up earlier or later to try and make it normal.
I see. Yeah, well, not the same reason, but the weather we've been having here, it's sort of hovering around 31, 32 in the daytime, which here is bloody hot, and it's not really dropping below 20 at night, which feels very uncomfortable. So I've been waking at a stupid o'clock. Anyway, yeah, I said I just announced that you've done quite a lot of debates. Is that the mainstay of your channel, really? Debates?
Sort of. Mostly I do conversations. Like I don't debates. I pretty much only do on other people's channels, like
Uh,
James Modern Day Debates.
yeah.
But yeah, I just usually invite on professors and philosophers and other theologians to have conversations about does this argument work or not. We don't usually do any formal debates, mostly just conversations.
But I mean, I have seen quite a few of the more formal debates on modern day debates, as you said, with James. I haven't been on there yet. It was going to be. I had a debate planned with Austin Wits It Gets It. You've come across him, I'm sure.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes, I unfortunately.
yeah. And he agreed to it, and he said, "Go on, you sort out the dates." And I suggested a couple of dates. He said, "Yeah, that's good. Sort it out with James." So I sorted it out with James. Came back to him, and that's the last I ever heard of him. I think I sent him about 10 emails and then finally gave up. So I guess he's run away. Hmm.
That's interesting because I think he's been on like 3 or 4 times
Oh, yeah.
on modern day debates.
Yep, yeah, he has.
Maybe he's
And
just afraid of you, just you specifically. He's just too afraid to debate.
it could be, couldn't it? It could be my dashing looks, puts him to shame, and yeah, can't stand the idea of it. Who knows? Anyway, Austin Witsit, you didn't get it, did you? You didn't get the debate.
Witted don't get it.
No, you don't. Not at all. So, you've mentioned several sort of topics. Like, okay, we've had flat Earth. There's sort of religious type debates and discussions and so on. What's your favourite? What?
I don't. I'm not sure exactly. Like I don't really have a favorite. Like
Mm,
mostly conversations for me are a job source of income for the most part. I've had social anxiety my entire life, so I've always hated talking to people, and so I decided to get a job in it just to be ironic.
yeah,
So actually, I decided to get a job in it so I could practice and try to get over it. But I've never actually enjoyed talking to people. It's not something that I find pleasurable. So they're mostly very exhausting conversations
but
are in general for me. And so I don't really have a favorite. I guess the ones I find the favorite are the ones that are easiest. So the ones that I have the most memorized information on
sure.
and that takes the least research. Those
Yeah.
are probably the ones that I find the most
Well,
enjoyable.
well, if anyone hasn't seen TJump, you'll see he's always in a very, very comfy chair, and you certainly look relaxed when you're having these discussions and debates.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's taken quite a bit of practice to become socially normal-ish.
Well, it's quite interesting you say that. I'm not a social person at all. If we're going out to a family, a friends or family do, I'm never particularly interested. I don't do small talk. I get bored quickly and want to come home. So when I started this channel, and especially when I then started live streaming, Mrs. S was absolutely gobsmacked. She could not believe I'd be doing this, and I do enjoy it. But real life, I'm not like this. I'm okay. I'm not petrified to speak to anyone, but I don't get pleasure out of just chatting.
That's fair. Yeah, I am totally petrified, especially in like bars. It's very hard for me to ever go up and talk to anybody in public situations. I do not in any way enjoy it whatsoever.
Well,
Uh,
you see, I can do it. I can walk up to a stranger and say something, but it's the standing there and making small talk for. I'm not interested. I don't care what the weather is. I don't care that the person who owned your cat before you did has just had an operation. So what? It just doesn't hold any interest for me. Yeah, I hope they get better, but let's move on. You know.
what topics do you like talking about? Are you into like big philosophy topics? You like talking about flat Earth? I hear
I
you're a big flat earther, just a closet flat earther, right? Just a shill for the globe,
Shill,
just
globe
lying for
shill,
the
yeah.
money.
Yeah, I do like doing flat Earth because it's so demonstrably stupid, so demonstrably wrong, and some of the weird and wonderful ideas they come up with are just laughable. Sleeping Warrior came up with the idea of sunrises being bluish and sunsets being reddish due to Doppler shift, which was rather a special one. And
Oh God,
I,
yeah. With Hip Hop Hippie last
oh yes,
Monday, he came up with the idea. I asked him, so if we have a vacuum chamber and we suck out all the air and we put in like water or air or something, why is it that on the bottom of the container the pressure is higher than at the top of the container? And he said, well, it's because it's in a container. That's his reason. The reason that it's there's more pressure on the bottom is because containers just are magic and they work that way
so
for
what?
some reason.
Okay, so you've got your container, you put something in it, and it's a higher pressure at the bottom. Why then, Mr. Hip Hop Hippie, if you turn it upside down, does that high pressure area move from one, what was the bottom to what was the top, and is now the bottom?
Because it's in the container.
It's funny, that, isn't it? How do containers know? I mean, it's just incredible. I tell you what,
the magic of containers.
You must have seen that old clip of film. Lots of flat earthers use it with, I don't know what the scientific equipment is, but the glass thing with a bulb at each end. One side's got bromine gas in it, the other side's vacuum. They open a tap, boom, it all rushes to the other end. Totally failing to understand that you've got pressure of bromine gas of, I don't know, let's say 14 psi. The other end, you've got a vacuum as close to zero as you can get it. Of course it's going to whoosh from one side to the other. You haven't got that in the atmosphere.
Oh yeah, for sure. But they always say, "Oh, it's density. It's because of density. Density does that. So there's less density."
Yes,
well, clearly it's going to go that way.
Actually, I'm glad you said that because, yes, they do. It's relative density equilibrium, because I think I thought of a neat little demonstration to destroy that idea. And I want to do a video on it, but I'd forgotten about it, so I've just jotted down a note. It's all secret for now, though. But
oh yeah, that's why I brought up the if we have a vacuum chamber and put in a gas or something, if it was relative density, well, relative density would put equal pressure everywhere in the container. There wouldn't be a disproportionate amount of psi on the bottom if it was just relative density. So the question is if there's relative density, there must be an additional something there to cause it to aggregate towards the bottom, right?
Yeah, some sort of, I don't know, some sort of force or something you could think of as a force, perhaps.
Yeah. And
maybe.
The force Hip Hop Hippie came up with was the container. The container is the magical force.
So what if it was an absolutely perfectly spherical container? So there is no difference in any of the, I don't know how you get the gas in there, but we get it in there somehow. There is no difference with any of the walls. So why does it prefer one area, because it isn't even a flat bottom, but one area to another? Weird.
I have no idea. He didn't make the argument that it was the shape of the container. No shapes of the container mattered here to his argument. He just said that if it's in a container, well, then that must cause all differences in pressure. It's just because it's in a container, and then container magic does it. So I don't actually think he understood the shape of the container and what difference that would make.
I don't know. Nathan Oakley. I presume you've come across Mr. Oakley.
Natalie?
Yeah. He's always going on about that, isn't it? And your fundy religious belief, and you can't have gas pressure without a presupposed container. And oh God, I hate that guy. He's awful. But yeah, he's always going on about that, and he keeps using that bromine gas thing as well.
Yep. My debate with him was really funny. I totally triggered him by just bringing up one thing, radio waves.
When did you debate Oakley? I'd like to see that one. Was it?
Oh yeah, on Modern Day Debate a few months ago, I think.
I hadn't heard of that, because the last time I'm aware of Oakley coming out of his echo chamber was when he got totally owned by.
No, yeah, my bad. It was Nathan Thompson. Is the guy I'm thinking.
Yeah, Nathan Thompson. Yeah, I did see that one actually. I was working at home because of the COVID thing, and I pretty much ploughed my way through all the modern day debates that were of interest to me, and as I said, yours were definitely among them, and I watched a lot of them. So
thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, no. If anyone hasn't seen TJump, you can check him out on Modern Day Debates, or even better, check him out on his channel and consider giving him a few likes and maybe a subscribe. I'd recommend it, because actually, thinking about that as well, TJump, I haven't subscribed, because I as I said, I only ever seem to see you on Modern Day Debates. So I shall fix that right now, and there we go. Subscribe to you. Oh,
thank you.
No, my pleasure, because I think from what I've seen on the Modern Day Debates that you've been on, you've done a cracking job. You really have. And everybody, there's a link to Tom's channel, so do check it out. But stay here for now. Check it out later. Oh, I'm being asked to boost your volume. Let's do that. I think probably you're just sat too comfortable in your chair. Well, let's give you a bit of a boost then. There we go. Sorry, people.
Yeah, definitely. Tend to lean away from my mic when I'm sleeping.
Yes. I did see on your channel you've got a channel intro vid, and that was made by one of your subscribers or followers.
Yes, all of the real work on my channel is done by my followers and not me. All
Yeah.
I do is sit down and chat. So, like, I actually had an edited video I did on the ontological argument. That was all edited by one of my fans from India who's done amazing work for
Wow.
very inexpensive, which is great. And yeah, one of my followers made my intro video, my previous intro video.
Which
my
does star your chair, doesn't it?
Yes, yes. The chair is the star of the channel.
That yeah, for my channel, because I know you can see me, can't you, in the Discord, and you've got a little spinning Mr. Sensible in the bottom right corner. Every now and then that changes to a cat. My cat Arnold, he's sort of a star of my channel, and you got a chair. Wow,
Yep.
a chair's comfy. Cat's nice, warm and cuddly, so I can understand that. Oh,
Yep.
and Tony
Both of them
Regime's
go
just
great on t-shirts.
sorry.
Both of them go great on t-shirts. Like, I had a bunch of my fans make tops and t-shirts and mugs and stuff,
With the chair.
merch. Yep. It's like my motto is something: intellectual honesty is in a state of recline.
Yes. State of recline.
So I got that.
Yep. I picked up on that one. I did have a quick chat for a couple of minutes with Tom before we came on, and Tom's got a very dry sense of humour, and I'm sure if I'm not careful, it will go straight over my head. Take me air off, it will. I will say I've got a couple of super chats I'll just quickly read. Just bear with me 1 second. And if anyone has any questions for Tom, please do fire away. But we've got Mitch Goldstein, super chat $5, say creationism, Bigfoot and Loch Ness Monster, 3 of a pair. Have you done anything about Bigfoot or Loch Ness Monster? Or are they too silly?
I think so. I think in the past I did Bigfoot. Like, I did a debate tournament on the Atheist Roundtable, or I think it's called the Atheist Network Group now. And one of the debate topics was, is Bigfoot real? But I think it was my opponent who beat me. He cheated, though. He beat me, but he went on to debate that topic. So that was one of the topics I was supposed to debate.
Yeah, I've never done anything about Bigfoot at all. Erin Meow has just super chatted also $5 Australian dollars, upside down dollars. 0410 AM here. Surely 0410 is AM. 4:10 AM here. Good morning. Well, good morning to you too, Erin. Well, that's you're up nice and early as well. People are up really early. They don't want to miss either myself or apparently you, Tom.
Thank you. I appreciate your suffering for our sakes.
And also, when we were chatting, I mentioned about the fact you've done a debate partnered up with Matt Dillahunty. Now, there's a name. What was he like?
He's a really nice guy. I've actually met him. So me and Modern Day Debates flew to Austin 3 or 4 different debates, and one of the ones I did there was with Jonathan Sheffield on the historicity of Jesus' resurrection or something like that.
Okay.
And we did it inside of the AAA studios, the atheist whatever studios. So we met Matt there.
Yeah.
And the other guys, we met Eric and
Jen?
the people who run the studio. I don't think Jen at the time. It was during COVID, so there was it was like a limited number. But they had donuts, so that was
that's cool. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter if you agree or disagree. If they got donuts, that's good. That sounds good to me.
Exactly.
I think we might have just had a question come in for you. Let's just have a quick look. Yes, it is. Sorry, it's a bit of a palaver for me to get hold of my super chats. Now Pinion has donated 55 Swedish kronor, saying, TJ, it seems as though you sometimes take a position in a debate that is not your actual position. Can you talk a bit more about that? I might be wrong. Is that the case?
Definitely. So I did one debate where I defended Christianity as a Christian versus an atheist who was a Christian. So he was defending atheism, but he was a Christian. So we swapped roles for the purpose and to explore different positions. It's actually something that's really common in debating in colleges. You have to actually do that as a part of your debate curriculum because it teaches you critical thinking skills, research skills, because the only way to, like the quote from The Art of War, if you know yourself and you know your enemy, you'll never lose in 1,000 battles. Knowing a position of your opponent better than your is the best way to be sure that you can win a debate, because if you can present their arguments better than they can, that means that you're going to be able to show the debunking of the better argument that they didn't make, which will then essentially undercut everything they've said. And so it's always a good debate strategy to be able to defend positions, hold
Well, there
how
was,
you.
yeah, there was one that was done with regard to flat Earth. I can't remember the guy's name, or against gravity, and he put forward this theory of pushitrons, which are pushing us down. And actually, the other guy was struggling to counter it because they're both realists, not flat earthers, but one had to take the flat Earth position, and the other guy was actually struggling to counter it because a lot of what he said, the physics side of things, actually, what's the word? It formed a coherent argument. It was really quite strange. It just fell down on one thing. I can't remember what it was though, and I can't remember who did it, and I can't
Oh yeah,
remember when it was.
that's one of the really interesting things about philosophy is that there's this problem of underdetermination. So all data can be explained by infinitely many hypotheses, no matter how crazy you want to make it. So even everything we know about the globe Earth evidence can actually be explained on a flat Earth model. We can use post hoc reasoning to make it fit the flat Earth model. Just to use one really simple example, we could all have been created 5 minutes ago by evil leprechauns, and the world was actually flat, and they just gave us faulty memories of information of the world being round. So you can actually explain all of the data on a flat Earth model. And if you put a lot of effort into it, you can make it kind of reasonable, and then you can do that with any position.
But I think
that's why in science, to count as real evidence, you need novel predictions. You need to be able to say, here's my hypothesis. If my hypothesis is true, here's something we can discover which we haven't seen yet, and if it can do that, that's real evidence.
Well,
but anybody can post hoc explain all of the data.
Well, there's two things spring to mind. Flat earthers do come up with some weird and wonderful ideas, like Riley's Doppler shift's sun, and things like bendy light and whatever to explain sunsets. The problem is, each of those things, which may be daft on their own, may have a certain amount of explanatory power. When you combine it with the others, they don't work because they contradict, they just don't fit together. And when you were saying about hypothesis, you've obviously not come across Flatzoid FE, have you? He doesn't even know what a hypothesis is. Apparently a hypothesis is the prediction. And he's in the middle of arguments with Flat Earth about that.
Yeah, it would help if flat earthers were intelligent. Then they'd be able to make better arguments for sure. Because Hip Hop Hippie, I asked him what possible means, and he said unicorns are impossible. I was like, well, impossible means logical contradiction. So like round squares are impossible, 1 + 1 = possible. But anything that doesn't have a logical contradiction is technically possible. Like Harry Potter is possible. It's possible that the universe could have been like Harry Potter with magic and unicorns and stuff. That stuff is possible. So flat earthers don't know a lot of basic words and terminology. I asked him what a force was, and he said things happening to other things. That's his definition
things
of
happening
force.
to other things. Yeah, Hip Hop Hippie. He's also now known as Bumpy Earth or Bumpy Earth 420, isn't he? He had a debate with me, and he basically said the Earth is bumpy because it's got mountains, and that's about as technical as he got. How did he do with you?
Oh yeah, I got the bumpy Earth all the time. He brought that up on a number of occasions. Yeah,
I don't know.
He said a lot of things.
It's like coming forward to a flat versus globe argument and saying, look, when it rains, you get wet. Yeah, and so what? Yeah.
There's a clip from my debate going around on Twitter right now where I asked him, so if the smallest thing the human eye can see is like this thing, and if the curve of the Earth was smaller than this thing, would we be able to see it? And his answer was, I don't know. Like
that's it.
So I went through it again. I paused. Like, so go walk through this with me one more time. So the smallest thing the human eye can see is X, and if something else was smaller than that, could the human eye see it? And he's like, I don't know.
So it was a challenging debate, was it? Did he have you on the run for a bit, or did you manage to hold your own against this onslaught of logic?
His argument that well, you haven't done it. Nuh-uh. I mean, I was struggling with that one. The nuh-uhs are they're just such a hard argument.
What, you haven't done it as an experiment? Is that what he's talking about? When you haven't measured the curve.
Yeah.
You haven't. Yeah.
You haven't been to space. You didn't build you didn't build a radio thing in your backyard. Yeah, I did. Oops.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a guy who has subsequently been on Fight the Flat Earth for a debate, and he was a nice guy. I can't remember his name. It was recently. But anyway, we were talking about the various things, and we're talking about air pressure being a gradient. And I showed a clip of film where this guy had sent up a balloon to measure the curve of the Earth. Sorry, to photograph the curve of the Earth, which also had air pressure sensor, which showed a nice steady gradient downwards and so on. We were talking about that, and he basically said, "Well, yeah, but you didn't do that, did you?" And I said, "Yeah, that was me." So he did laugh at that. So I set him up, and he laughed. So that was cool. And he was a nice guy. I just can't think of his name, but he was on Fight. I think in about the last week or so. So what channels do you watch then? What's your pleasure?
Cat videos. I watch cat videos.
Cat,
Lots and lots of
cat
cat
as in
videos.
conspiracy cats, or as in cute little fluffy kittens?
Cute little fluffy kittens, like the
Okay.
rainbow pop tart cat videos. I like the Kardashians. That's a good show. Bachelor. Nathan Thompson's channel is just gorgeous. He has an 8-hour video of him bouncing ping pong
Oh
balls off
man,
of hammers. I watched the entire thing without
where,
pausing.
where does that come from? He thinks that's some amazing skill. But if it is some amazing skill that's taken years of training, what a waste of bloody time. I, yeah, don't get him.
Maybe there's some like world record he was going, like the Guinness World Record, longest ping pong ball bouncing
I
on
don't know.
hammer.
He's got some sort of business, hasn't he, where he does mind training for people. I don't know how many
Yeah,
people are
yeah.
paid for that.
Well, he's got a lot of really good, interesting skills. Like he can write backwards very
Okay.
clearly,
Yeah.
and he's memorized lots of different uh, words and language aspects of languages. So he's definitely capable of thought.
And then he
I just don't
wastes
know
it.
how often he does it. Yeah.
Yeah. Super chat from Judy Bassett for €10 for Arnold. Thanks, Judy, and I'm sure Arnie will appreciate it, although he's not here right now. Arnold is the cat, Tom. But he pops up sometimes, and I drag him onto camera. But there we go. Yeah, because Nathan's channel's dead, isn't it? And he used to run the largest Flat Earth Facebook group, didn't he? For 130,000 people or something. Until it got taken
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Him and Mark Sargent got into a big feud about who was the king flat earther for a while. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Mark Sargent, he doesn't seem to do much. Eric DeBay just doesn't engage with anyone else. He just produces crap. And I'm actually not in the middle. I'm near the beginning of a video about DeBay. Sorry, guys, it's going to be another DeBay one. I thought of a great intro, and then I had to do it. Yeah. I mean, it'd be good if someone like DeBay actually came onto a debate with someone to try and defend this rubbish that he pumps out. He just makes all these stupid claims. I'm not sure how much of it is him not understanding and how much is him lying. I'm pretty sure there's a mixture of the two.
Yeah, that seems to be a common thing. Many of the gurus say a lot of really ridiculous things, but never um, go to any kind of critical debate
No,
area where people can challenge them. Like there's that one guy who's like the coffee bean son guy with the curly hair. Forgot his name though.
don't know him. Don't know him.
But yeah, they just use lots of big, pleasant sounding big words to sound smart, and they talk really slow, and then they get lots of people's money.
Yeah, because I mean, someone like DeBay, whatever, puts out that stuff, and you're going to get some people who just fall for it or get just baffled by science and big words. But as they're not going into debate, they're not actually being challenged them to explain themselves. So they never get shown in person to be wrong. I mean, if you're a follower of DeBay, you're not going to really watch a video of mine other than to come in, give it a thumbs down, and put some stupid comment. You're not going to watch the video and try and understand, well, what was Mr. S saying? Is he right or is he? No, they're not. Eric's the man. Give sensible a thumbs down. Leave a crap comment and go away again. Job done.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's so much money in that. Just the sounding smart and giving people inspirational quotes makes so much money that I can understand why they don't listen to criticism because there's not really much point if you're making that much money.
And actually, that's quite. I was thinking about that with regard to Matt Powell, who I'm sure you must have heard of.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he's doing
he's got
exactly
a
the
pretty
same.
small channel, doesn't he?
Sorry?
He's got like a small channel,
It's
doesn't he? Pretty
smallish,
small
but it's
YouTube channel.
growing because I think that Kent Hovind is his papa creationist. But yeah, he pumps out some crap, and again, he's not engaging with people. What was it he said in a video? He left a comment to a video. I can't remember what the video was about, and he just said, "Yeah, and that's just like evolution. No evidence at all." Oh no, global warming. That was it. Global warming. No evidence at all. So I commented back. Well, apart from the fact that temperature's rising, the CO2's rising, sea levels are rising, ice caps are melting. We got flash floods. I mean, look at those floods in China. A year's worth of rain in 3 days. You got wildfires in. Is it Oregon? Is that in Oregon
California.
now? We got stupid temperatures.
California, the main.
I mean, the west coast of America has had some, and up to Canada had stupid amount of heat, but apparently there is zero, for global warming. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, yeah. All the scientists they're just blind. They're misreading the data. They just don't know what they're talking about.
And
Just go
maybe
to
they
Matt
are.
Powell for the
So
real
why
science.
isn't another scientist, an actual scientist, calling them out and showing them that they're wrong? Oh no, we got some two-bit preacher. He'll tell them they're wrong.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, when you say two-bit, I'm sure he's earning himself a nice little roll of cash.
I think that's 2 bits too many.
Yeah, yeah. Oh dear. Sorry, just having a check on this. Yeah, because Kent Hovind, he does engage sometimes, but his arguments have not changed right from the earliest ones that I saw on Why Do People Laugh at Creationists? There are 7 types of evolution: stellar evolution, chemical evolution. What were you talking about, Kent? I mean, what is it? Have you debated Kent?
3 or 4 times, yes.
Wow. And how did you get on? Did he hit you with his Mr. SpongeBob?
No, so our first 2 conversations were actually really pleasant.
Yeah.
I think actually our first 2 were kind and pleasant, and then the last one we did on modern day debate, I was a little more mean to. But yes, because the first ones was back when I had less than 1,000 subs on my channel, and he has 150 channel, so I was like really wanted more exposure.
Yeah, of course. How did you just email him and then he bit, or what? How did that come about?
Yeah, like anybody can just email him and get him on his channel. He's really easy to get on.
Maybe I'll have to give it a go.
Public email on the site that you can just email, say, hey, would you like to come on my channel? And he usually replies, yeah.
Okay. What do people in here think? You think I should give that a crack? Get Mr. Hovind on here? Sorry, Dr. Hovind from Patriot University, no less. Hello, my name is Kent. I bet he was cussing when his thesis got out. Have you ever read it?
Nope. I know that Aaron Ra made a big deal out of it, and I was just listening to him debunk it on his channel.
It's a bit of a giggle. It's a bit of a giggle. Yeah, I will thoroughly recommend Thunderfoot's Why Do People Laugh at Creationists. It's a few years old now. Quite a few of the people you don't see around anymore. Kent you do. And he had a big spat with, what's the guy's name? The one who wore the Batman or whatever it is makeup. Gosh, I can't think of his name now. Venom Fang X.
Batman.
Venom Fang X. That was it. It was the Joker,
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
it? Not. Yeah. Venom Fang X. That was quite a famous YouTube spat that went on for quite a while and ended up with Venom Fang X being bitch made and having to do an apology video for false DMCA claims against Phil.
Yep.
Yeah.
When you mentioned the Batman thing, I was like, wait, Mr. Batman has gotten into a fight with Phil? Because there's a presuppositionalist who's pretty big in my side of the community who he goes by Mr. Batman, and he dresses up as Batman and talks to kids in Halloween about how to presuppose the existence of God, teaching kids presuppositionalism, and it's absolutely hilarious. He's a pretty well-known presup in the community because of how much of a dumpster fire he is. So there's multiple creationists talk about presup, or multiple creationists dress up as Batman apparently.
I've not heard of that. But talking about kids and religion, and if you don't want to answer, I 100% respect that. But have you ever had a religious upbringing or a time when you were religious, or have you? Well, I'm assuming you're atheist. Maybe that's an assumption I shouldn't make.
No, I'm a polytheist. I believe in Thor and Zeus and Wotan. No, but yeah. So I'm an atheist. I was brought up Christian. I went to a Catholic grade school, Catholic high school. I was pretty thoroughly religious up until late high school, just
Yeah.
because none of my prayers were ever answered. I had major depression my entire life, and just after praying for years, nothing happened. So I just lost my faith because of that, and didn't even get into the philosophy until like several years later, after more the college realm.
Okay.
So yep, I did definitely was religious, was very religious.
I saw a brilliant tweet recently. I can't remember word for word, where this guy was saying that surely what God should have done is made all mankind live in heaven right from the start, but give you the free will to leave if you wish. Yeah, why didn't he? He apparently didn't think of that.
Yeah, that's pretty much like what I normally say is that, well, God should have given every human being the option to either go to his fallen world with all the benefits, or just go to their own world and say like, nah, I don't really want to do that. Let me just go to my own world instead. So why didn't God do this? Couldn't he have done this? Like, no, he must forced you to go here because Adam and Eve ate the apple, so it's Adam and Eve's fault.
Yeah, well, I mean, what couldn't he put a fence, electrified fence or something around that tree so that they couldn't have eaten it? I don't know.
Just make the tree a little bit taller, like it grow like
Yeah.
little like an.
Oh, why not plant it somewhere bloody else?
Why not just give them knowledge and not death?
Yeah, and free clothes. Yeah. David Oliver's just said, have you seen off the Curb Ministries, Mr. S? The Curb Ministries. Not heard of them, David. Thanks for the super chat. Not heard of. Have you heard of Curb Ministries, Tom?
Nope, but I'm definitely going to Google them.
Mm.
Is it a religious curb or
I don't
probably?
know. KIRB is as is written. It is written as it is written by Mr. David Oliver.
Yeah, the YouTube channel.
I must have a look at that as well. I'll jot that down on my list. Yeah, so
500,000 subs. It is pretty big.
500,000.
Yep.
Right, I'm ending this stream and getting on to my next video. But I must admit, Tom, that I'm surprised that you haven't got an awful lot more subs. I definitely think you deserve them. I mean, what you got about
Thank you,
eight? Is it
appreciate
about 8.5, 8.75, something like that? You definitely deserve
Yeah,
more.
8.2, I think, is what I'm at.
Yeah. So again, don't forget to check Tom's channel. Check it out. See if it's what you like. Because if you like debates and so on, Tom's the man. You've done dance site more than me. I find it really difficult to find people to debate, Tom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. Well, the flat earthers, they're disappearing, left, right, and centre. Have you noticed that? There's less of them around.
Yeah, it's a NASA conspiracy. They just keep kidnapping them.
Yeah. Well, maybe we could. Maybe we should have an argument, and you argue the case for flat Earth and persuade some of the good people here to become flat earthers. Then it could be an endless cycle, couldn't it? I'd do videos debunking them till they leave. Then you argue again, persuade some more.
Yes, we can generate some flat earthers just in order to create content.
Yeah. And we'll just all of us, let's just get together, do that, and we'll just scam YouTube out of all their good advertising revenue. Oh dear. Oh, well, thank you, Skits Crusher, who's just subbed to you, Tom, and
Thank you.
and Martin Fathers as well. Oh, sorry, he subbed to you after your debate with Bumpy, so he was a pre-Mr. Sensible sub. That's good stuff. Good stuff.
Thank you both, and thank you to Martin a little bit more because you subbed earlier.
See, Skits, if you'd have done it sooner, you'd got even more thanks from Tom. Oh, dear. Still, you've got more thanks, I'm sure, than so many subs tomorrow.
Hey, super duper thanks to anybody who subs to my OnlyFans.
Yeah. Well, when you say it's your OnlyFans, it's your chair's OnlyFans.
True. Very, very true.
Do you know, many years ago, I don't know how I came across it, Tom. I found this website, the Kama Sutra for deck chairs. You know the deck chairs, the folding seaside chairs? And
Yeah.
it was deck chairs in different sexual positions. It was a brilliant website. No text, just the name of the position and a photo of two chairs. But unfortunately, it seems to have gone. That's what the internet was really about, not all this flat Earth rubbish.
I believe that is called Rule 34. Yeah.
Rule
The
34.
internet. Yeah. If it exists, there is porn of it.
Yes.
Not that I know by experience or anything. I wouldn't. I'd have no idea.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I've heard
You're
from
digging a
friends.
hole here, Tom.
Yeah, yeah.
Now
It was Fight the Flat Earth told me about this. It wasn't me.
Well, Skits has just said, and I saw someone else mention it before, that you had the patience of a saint with Bumpy. Do you find that you are patient with them and you just want to carry on showing how stupid they are, or do you get frustrated with these people?
The only ones who I get frustrated with are ones where I'm not allowed to talk. Like the people who talk over me, those are extremely frustrating. Or people who use terminology completely incorrectly, and then even after I like show them that's not how the word is used in like the field, they just keep using it incorrectly. Those kinds of ones are frustrating, but
Yeah.
people who actually kind of listen are not as bad. So like Bumpy actually kind of listened.
Mm-hmm.
He admitted certain things that like I didn't expect him to admit. So he was actually amicable in the conversation. Like he wasn't even in the top 30 of my most frustrating people to debate. Like the Jay Dyer debate would be the number one most ridiculously frustrating debate
Jay
ever.
Dyer. Okay. I have to watch
Yeah.
out for that one. Yeah, I
Yeah.
find that I mean, there are debaters and debunk channels of all sorts, from ones that just point and laugh at how stupid something is, to people who pull out all the equations and or those that do experiments to show, through to those who just have a good old rant at them, like Fight the Flat Earth. I'm definitely at the quieter end. I'll sit and talk and listen and try and show they're wrong, and even have a tease at their expense. And I've gotten all right with people that others have found really difficult to debate. And I've had a couple on who've come on here, like oh gosh, this is my terror. I forget flipping words. Who's that idiot? Our idiot who normally comes into the channel, guys. Can't think of his name, but he's come on the stream once and talked. It's the only time I'm aware he's ever been live on anywhere, and he felt comfortable enough to come on here and talk, because he knew that, yeah, we'd disagree with him, but we're not just going to get he's not going to get shouted over and just insulted. You know, you go to some channels and that'll happen, but there you go. But having said that, I love Fight
Yeah,
Flat
like,
Earth when he's
Fight
off on
the
a
Flat Earth,
dumpster
cough,
fire.
cough.
I'm sorry, I did talk over you there.
Well, yeah, I was saying the exact same thing. Yeah, like Fight the Flat Earth.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And there's a place for that, and I love it. Did you see his debate, for want of a better word, with Santos?
Yes, I saw part of it. That was hilarious. Like
Yeah.
I actually liked his preambles to the debate where he was reading Santos's emails to it.
Yes.
That part was just hilarious.
Yes. People are saying
And Santos got arrested, which was hilarious too.
the person I'm forgetting about, they're saying Gary Wybenga. Yeah, he's one, but the other one is Multi Tom Tom, who hasn't done anything for a while. Don't
Did
bother
you say
looking.
Gary Y. Banger?
Wybenga, yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, he came on here and he was okay. I don't think he really has much understanding of what he's talking about, but I found him okay. What he's well known for is coming into comments and just copy pasting reams and reams of stuff, which obviously he doesn't understand, and then spamming it again and again and again. And we came to an agreement, because he kept finding he was getting himself hidden by the mods, and I said, look, don't do the copy pasting, stay on here and argue your case. And he generally does. He makes comments, they're pretty stupid, but he's allowed to make his comments, and he seems to have ceased on this channel just copy pasting rubbish that he doesn't understand, for which I give him credit. So I'm sure that Gary, you'll see this at some point, so good man.
Yeah,
You're
I really
still wrong.
appreciate my haters. The haters are great because they boost the algorithm. They post comments and
Don't tell 'em
dislikes and stuff, and get. It's great. Like they're giving me money. I love
Yeah,
it.
don't tell him that, Tom. Erin Meow's just super chatted $2 Australian and said nothing. Thank you, Erin. Much appreciated. Not you not saying anything, but the super chat. It's much appreciated. Yeah. That's right. You get some idiots. They'll come in and they'll say something that's so contentious, and I'll pin their comment, and of course people rip into them, and then they come back, and it goes on and on. And yeah, it's good for the algo. So I'm happy with that.
Oh yeah, I had one who argued that shapes and colors in Jesus. That one was
So
just
shapes and
hilarious.
colours what? Colours what?
Shapes and colors prove God exists. So
Oh,
like shapes
right.
prove God exists, and colors prove Jesus exists.
Excellent. I wish I knew. No one told me this. What? Right.
So that was like so colors are the three colors of fire, red, blue, and green, and that was the colors of the flame that talked to Noah, and God wouldn't lie to Noah, therefore Jesus. I think that was the
Oh,
complete
okay.
structure of his argument.
Okay. I feel that this argument perhaps needs a little development to convince me. But now, I don't know if this is something contentious because I recognise a name that's mentioned. And I think this is to you, Tom. Mr. Malert, super chat is $3.99. Why does Steve McRae say you are wrong? Now, if that's something contentious, because I know that there are, I believe, court cases around Steve and other people, which I have no interest and don't want to get into. So if it's nothing to do with that, do you know what he's talking about, Tom? Why does Steve McRae say you are wrong?
Well, me and Steve disagree on a lot of things, so you'd have to be a lot more specific on that one. But yeah, me and Steve don't get along because Steve is kind of a drama queen who does drama more than any argumentation, and he's very pedantic on semantics that really don't matter to an argument. But I don't know, like the main disagreement we had was on the definition of atheism, but he didn't say I was wrong. Like we didn't have a disagreement about that. We just like a factual disagreement. We just disagreed about the definitions of the word. So I don't know specifically what he's talking about. You'd have to give like an actual example of Steve saying I'm wrong about something.
Okay. This shapes and colour thing, Hads has said, so colourblind people are atheists. Well, actually, I'm an atheist and I am colourblind. Point proven. Excellent. Are you colourblind as well then? Did you become colourblind just in your was it high school you said, and then you lost religion?
No, I think it was the moment he made his argument that shapes and colors prove God. That was when I became colorblind.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like a sign from God.
In black
From the
and
spaghetti
white.
monster.
Yes. Can you see Jesus? Well, it depends what colour he is, really, doesn't it? Oh, dear. Oh, that was it. Mr. Miller said it was about the definition of atheist. I mean, to me, I know atheist probably does have a formal definition, being, well, to me, it's someone who doesn't believe there's evidence for God, or not enough evidence for God to make them believe that God exists. You know,
Yeah,
I'm
so
sure.
the definition
Yeah.
the definition of atheism in philosophy is someone who positively believes there is no God. That's essentially the exclusive definition used in academic philosophy, and that's what Steve argues. He's correct when he's my position is that I don't really care what philosophers mean by the word. I'm describing what my position is, and when I use the word atheism, it's there's no reason to believe in a God, like what you said. That's what
Yes.
most
But
atheists that are just common people use the word to mean today, at least.
yes, yeah, exactly. That's the common usage now. But I fully accept the more formal usage, and to me, it doesn't matter either way. In that there is nothing, whether you can say God does not exist or whether you say there's not enough evidence to show that there's a God, makes no odds either way. I don't believe, and it's not a biggie for me either. Second best Bob just super chatted £5. I'm so happy to have TJump here. Thanks, Mr. Sensible. Well, I'm really happy that TJump came, Bob, and thanks, Bob. And I really am, because it was one of your subs, wasn't it? Suggested we have a chat.
Yep, definitely was. I got his email from somebody, or I think it was actually a text or something during a Discord live stream that I do, and they suggested I contact you guys.
Which you
He's
did.
also a fan of you guys.
Yeah, yep. Because he said I think he dropped a message on a live stream chat and said, "Oh, you should talk to TJump." And I said, "Yeah, quite happy to." And next I think it was only a couple hours later. Oh, I got an email from TJump. Ah, there we go then. Yeah, I hadn't really. I'll be honest, hadn't really thought about it. But then I suppose you hadn't really thought about contacting me before. So whoever that was, thanks. Got to top up my.
Thanks, credit to that guy
Yeah.
who I will probably look up and say thank you to when I remember his name.
Yes. Oh, do you get flooded with emails? And do you have a Discord? In which case, do you get loads of Discord messages and all this stuff? And it's so hard to keep up.
Yeah, I have like 1,400 people on my Discord, I think. So yeah, I have a pretty active Discord
Yeah.
run by some awesome mods. Frank's92, he does most of the work and live streams every few days or starts conversations every few days. So yeah, I'm trying to build that as much as possible. So I do get flooded pretty consistently with stuff there. Not as much on my email though, because I have this rule that like if anybody wants me to like come on their show or usually or invites me on their show, they got to pay me $50. So that kind of the emails just makes it much more manageable.
Oh, right. And is that the case?
Yeah. So like I charge $50 for random interviews, random debates, people I've never heard before. So, and I make a decent amount of money doing that too.
Nice one.
Just had one yesterday that was paid for.
Of course, my check is in the post. Actually, you contacted me before I contacted you, so I'll give you my address for the $50 you're sending me. Or should we just send each other 50 and call it quits?
How's that sounds good.
Okay,
so,
cool.
I'll send you 50 pesos. You can send me $50.
Okay.
Pounds.
What's the peso worth?
You're in the UK, so you send pounds. I'll send.
Okay. Right, so what have we got here? Okay, Brian Pop Robson, who I saw just got a big mention on Creaky Blinder. Well done, Brian. I refuse to prove that I exist, says God, for proof denies faith, and without faith I am nothing. But, says man, the Babel fish is a dead giveaway, isn't it? It could not have evolved by chance. It proves you exist, and so therefore, by your own argument, you don't. QED. Oh dear, says God, I hadn't thought of that, and promptly vanishes in a puff of logic. Absolutely. Are you a fan of Douglas Adams?
Yes, big fan. The puddle analogy I think is phenomenal. Love his books. What is it? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Yeah. He's absolutely brilliant, isn't he? The way he thinks of things and just describing something. Like talking about Vogon constructor spaceships hanging in the air just like bricks don't. I mean, that's that's inspired.
Yep,
absolutely brilliant.
I think, and especially because he's like you, he has a British accent. I think that gives you like an unfair advantage because I think you get on automatic like 15 IQ points just by having a British accent.
Yeah, but you know why, Tom? That's because automatically every Brit is born 15 IQ points higher than their equivalent elsewhere. Unfortunately, some Brits who are flat earthers then get it deducted very swiftly.
Yeah, I mean, have you met Boris Johnson? Like, I don't know. I'm skeptical of that one.
Well, yeah, I don't do politics on this channel. I don't mind you saying something like that, but I would actually quite enjoy arguing politics, whether it's someone like about Boris Johnson or about Biden or about Trump or whatever. I find a lot of it really, really interesting, but that's a surefire way to annoy half your audience. So it is.
Maybe that's why I don't have as many subs because I do a lot of politics too.
Okay. Well, I mean that's true, but then I suppose it's also swings and roundabouts. I mean, if we picked politician X and you were arguing for politician X, then those who are big supporters of politician Y won't touch you with a barge pole. But then you're going to get an awful lot of politician X supporters. So,
problem is I'm a centrist, so everybody hates me.
Cool. Yes. Yeah, you want to be the opposite then, don't you?
Yeah.
Sort of an Antarctic warlist, and everybody will like you.
Yep. That is the downside to politics is that it kind of favors the people who are on the extreme right or the extreme left, and then everybody in the middle is kind of like fence sitters and seen as evil and terrible people.
By both sides, yes. Yeah, because the closest I came to politics was talking not about the actual political views of either side, but just about how people interact with each other, and that people should listen and literally try and put themselves in the other person's shoes and so on. So a lot of people liked it, but quite a few people sort of they didn't give me a kicking, but expressed that they weren't happy with that. So that was the closest I got to it, so I left it. Can I ask you, what's the dumbest argument you've ever heard with regard to something like flat Earth or whatever?
The lights and colors prove God thing is dumber than any of the flat Earth arguments. Like, so most of the flat Earth, at least, kind of follow. Like containers cause air pressure is pretty dumb.
Well, actually,
Not under.
yeah, they're almost right in one thing, because you need a surface to have the pressure, don't you? Because the pressure is measured at a surface. But that's what they. If you look at the definition, it says it's the pressure on the walls of a container or other surface. They always forget that
Well,
because
technically, the surface could just be the sensor, so you can have
yes,
just a gas
exactly,
giant.
exactly. I've made exactly that point once before in an argument with someone, and I said I'm sat here. If this is my sensor, it's a surface. It's registering pressure here. It's not a container. It's a surface. But I don't know. What can you do with dumb, eh? Bottle it and sell it, I suppose.
That sells extremely well, unfortunately.
Yes. Oh, apparently Boris Johnson was born in America. Actually, I'd heard that before. Instant deduction of IQ points.
That explains it.
The thing is about him, whatever you think about his political views, he sort of has this aspect of a Brit, like a bit like Top Gear, ambitious but crap. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm sure other people know what I mean. There is something British about heroic failures. Do you remember many years ago we had a Olympic ski jumper, Eddie the Eagle? He was absolutely hopeless. I think he came last and everything, but he was a hero. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, for sure. I've definitely heard that joke. The difference between an American hero and a British hero, or American comedy and a British comedy, is the British comedy is like the dad who always loses, who's tried hard and who's like really hard to be a success, but just fails at everything. Whereas the American dad is just a complete failure at everything and is just a sloppy guy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we got heroes like I don't know if would you have ever seen an old series called Some Mothers Do Have 'Em, Frank Spencer. And
I don't think I've saw that one, but like Faulty Towers.
Exactly. Yes, yes. I mean, his heart was in the right place, but he gets everything wrong. Definitely. And yeah, real British hero. Definitely. I love Faulty Towers. I love Monty Python. We tend to get into that every now and then on this channel, and then it runs away with us, especially when I've got numerous guests in. That have pulled into live just for a chat about whatever, get onto that topic, and then we've lost it. But never mind.
The Knights of Ni.
Yeah, Ni, yes. Cut down the tallest tree in a forest with a herring. Apparently,
she's a witch. How do you know she's a witch?
She looks like
do with witches. You burn her. What else you burn? Wood. Well, what do you do with wood? It floats. So what else floats? A duck. Well, so if she's lighter than a duck, she's a witch.
Yep, definitely. Tell me more of this new science of which you speak. But Gary Isle of Wight has just said he did. Where is it? He did the publicity photos for Eddie the Eagle. Good man. Mr. X, Mr. Y remembers him. Yeah, Eddie the Eagle. What a hero. It's a bit like the Jamaican bobsleigh team, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good for them.
They made a movie about that. It was actually a really good movie.
Cool Runnings.
Yes.
Cool Runnings, yeah. With John Candy. He was the trainer, wasn't he?
Yep.
Love that film. That's another recommendation if you haven't seen that.
It was a surprisingly good film for such a low-budget movie.
Yeah. Well, it was a great topic, wasn't it? And John Candy, I can't think of any films that he was bad in. I really liked him. I'm just going to I see a super chat's come in. I'm just going to do a double check just in case any have slipped by. Unfortunately, my YouTube won't let me. Yes, there is. Well, some old dude super chatted $5 US saying, "What's a TJump? A new Olympic sport?"
Yes, it is the Olympic sport of chair sitting and the most effective, comfortable chair sitting possible.
Yeah.
I currently hold the gold medal.
I think you need to improve your microphone now. You're endlessly moving it. you need maybe one of those little clip-on mics or something.
I am too lazy for that. I like my microphone because I can just leave it there and it doesn't away. Because that's the reason I have it to the side of my head and not in front of me, is so that I can just lift it up and get out of the way and not have to move anything.
Yeah. I mean, I love mine
Pure,
too.
yeah.
Brilliant. On one of those boom arms. Excellent thing. Second best Bob. Thanks, second best Bob. Super chat again, £5. Can you ask Tom if he'll ever, quote, debate with Darth Dawkins again?
And probably if we set something up, like he doesn't like me very much, but hopefully I'll be able to debate him again because I think that's my most, like two of my top three most viewed videos are Darth Dawkins debates. I think I have like 35,000 views and 20,000 views or something from those debates. So he's a good person to debate because he gets lots of views, even though what he says is completely stupid.
What does he say? Because I must admit that is one of those of yours that I haven't seen. So what's he like? I've never seen this. I've heard of Darth Dawkins, never actually seen him.
He is a presuppositional apologist. So what he says is what is your ultimate foundation of everything? That is essentially his argument. He asks that over and over and over again, and then he brings up common or very niche problems in philosophy that apply to essentially everything in philosophy that are unsolved problems. And he says, "Ha! You can't solve this, therefore that fails. Therefore God."
Yeah, it doesn't quite work like that, though, does it?
Nope. It's an argument from ignorance.
Yeah, but that's actually a common thing with the flat earthers as well. You can't. Can you prove gravity? No. Therefore, flat Earth.
Yep. It is a fundamental fallacy used in the vast majority of pseudosciences. There's like 6 or 7 fallacies that are the core fallacies used in every pseudoscience, and that is one of the main ones.
Yeah. There's a great chart, isn't there? That have you ever seen it? That shows all the different fallacies, things like the genetic fallacy and well, I can't remember. Each of the fallacies is there with an explanation. Have you seen one of those charts? You can sort of buy them on Amazon or whatever.
Yeah, I think there's one with like clouds behind it, and you have like the Greek philosophers.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yep. Definitely seen that one.
Oh, Skits Crasher says, "Don't mention the war." He thinks he mentioned it once, but he thinks he got away with it. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't mention it at all. Don't mention the war.
The war?
Oh dear, Tom. Yeah, it was a Monty Python. Faulty Towers episode, and they had some German guests, and of course, being German, last thing he wanted to do was mention the war.
Oh gosh, yeah, totally.
So he couldn't do anything.
I was thinking, wait, the war between America and Britain, like when we tossed your tea.
Yeah. I don't know what to say to that. Not without upsetting you. It's like, actually, those sort of things, being able to sort of tease like that. I only went to America once. I went to Arizona on a 2-week training course. And I got really friendly with this guy. He was actually an ex-Vietnam vet. And, yeah, really nice guy. And we used to tease each other, something rotten. And he took the mickey out of the Brits left, right, and centre. And all the other people, all of who were Americans, how the hell can you're being rude to him? He's a visitor to our country. And then I was taking the piss out of Americans, and they were looking at me. Oh my God, how come this guy doesn't shoot you? It was just such a great friendship. It was really, really good. We just clicked, and yeah, I like teasing people. It's like the thing between the British and the French, except of course we know that the French really are, but it's traditional. I think every country's got another country that they have as the butt of their jokes. Or
yeah, most of them is America. America's the main one.
Well, I've got to say that one time I was there, I absolutely adored it. Every single person I met was unfailingly pleasant, and I had a lovely time. No, honestly, I'm sure I could go to. Perhaps I didn't go to some of the less or more salubrious areas. I forget which way around that is now. But some of the dodgy areas. I didn't go to some of the dodgy areas. But yeah, everyone I had dealings with, I really, really found pleasant. I mean, this guy, his family invited me back, and I went back to their home. Took me in for an evening meal a couple of times. And then he took me shooting because I'd never touched a gun before, and we were just asking about that. And he showed me all these different weapons. He said, "Yeah, we've got this as a 45. We got this other handgun. We got this. Is it not Smith and Wesson? I forget the old cowboy sort of rifles, the one with a that they cock with a I don't know what it is. Not Smith and Wesson. God knows. Anyway, show me all this.
Remington, maybe.
Oh, it could be. Could be. But his 12-year-old daughter wandered into his office, so he had his gun cabinet open and all these guns out, and she says, "Oh, my favourite's the 22." There we go. And yeah, he took me out into the desert and we went shooting, which I really, really enjoyed, and it was a great opportunity because here you can't just go and wander around with your guns and go shooting. It's just not done. Just not done.
Yep.
Oh, Paul Camish, thank you, Paul, Super Chat £5, said, I've actually learnt so much more about the Earth since arguing with flat earthers that I otherwise wouldn't have. Absolutely, Paul. Definitely. I've learnt tons, so many aspects of the whole subject I wouldn't have been aware of. Do you find you learn a lot from your arguments from the other side or from your researches in order to debunk the other side, Tom?
Yeah, I think that's the best way to learn is to be not usually in the case of flat earthers because they don't usually research as much into it. But if you have a competent debater who's really, really researched into their position and you've really, really researched into your position, and you go into a debate and they point out the weaknesses in your position and you point out the weaknesses in their position, that is definitely the best way to learn because it shows you where you need to do research and to improve your rate. And I think there's a quote from the Fundamentals of Chess, 1883. The only way to get smarter is by playing a smarter opponent. And I think that's right. Fundamentally true.
Yeah. There's no point in just whipping someone who can barely play chess, is there? You're not going to learn much then. Yep. No, absolutely. What about other debaters? Do you watch other debaters for tips and tricks from them?
I used to. I definitely used to watch all the Hitchens, Harris Dawkins, Dennett debates with William Lane Craig and Frank Turek and all the theist guys. That's something I used to do, but not as much anymore.
William Lane Craig annoys me though. He's just he's just so full of himself and so cocksure. Isn't he the one who basically justified was it the killing of children or something? Biblically.
I think that's definitely something that many theists defend. That's one of the ones I bring up a lot, that God drowned babies, drowning babies is immoral, therefore God is immoral. And so I just try to force them to try to show that, make them defend drowning babies as a moral thing.
Yeah, because basically he was arguing, well, I'll go straight to heaven, so it's all right. Yeah. Well, try that in a court of law. See how far you get. How moral is that?
Yep.
Yeah, so I don't particularly like him. I mean, he's obviously a very clever man, but Hitchens and Dawkins. I think probably out of the two, I probably prefer Hitchens. I mean, he is so clever, so incredibly clever, and can construct the most wonderful arguments. I don't think I've ever seen him struggle with anyone, not seriously.
Yeah, for sure. I think that each of the horsemen have their strengths. So I think Hitchens was the most eloquent. He definitely had the best vocabulary and best quips more than any of the other ones. I really like Dawkins' biology stuff. That is extremely useful in debates. And then Harris is really good at the philosophy stuff.
Sorry, go on.
His views on free will, I pretty much just stole his free will argument because it was so good.
Yeah. Hitchens is also so incredibly was incredibly well travelled and knows so much about the various religions and the historical stuff, talking about things that have happened, for instance, in somewhere like Afghanistan or Iraq or whatever, going back and being able to pull that in, back in 70 so and so when Hussein was doing this or whatever, and he was. Well, just incredible, and it's such a great loss, such a massive loss.
I remember one of his debates. Somebody asked him if a bunch of religious people came out of a religious institution were walking towards you in a street, would you rather it be Christians or Muslims? And he said, I've actually had that happen to me, and here's a list of cities where that's happened, but I wouldn't prefer either one in those cities because he's been so many places in the Middle East and in extremist places in the world with religion. So I think he just listed like 12 cities with the letter B just to make the point.
Yes, I've seen that one. It's brilliant, isn't it? Uh, one of the most interesting questions I've posed to someone, or the question I'm most pleased about that I posed to someone who was a religious person, was that if we were in a restaurant and you suddenly started choking and going blue because something stuck in your throat, would you rather I prayed over you or got a Christian to pray over you, or I performed the Heimlich manoeuvre? And actually, the guy came back with a good answer, and he said, I would just pray that you do the Heimlich manoeuvre on me. So I thought that was quite clever. I gave him top marks for that. But yeah, I thought it was quite an interesting thing. If you actually had to put your life on the line, would you do it, or would you? Because they often say that every soldier in a foxhole starts praying to God, which I'm sure
there are no atheists in foxholes.
Exactly. But would that be the same the other way round? How many religious people will actually turn towards the medical field to try and save them if it came to that at the last minute?
Yeah, unfortunately in America it happens kind of often, and there are many court cases, parents who have been sent to prison because their kid had diabetes, and instead of bringing them to the doctor and giving them insulin, they just prayed, and
sad,
ended up killing their child. So that's a pretty common thing, unfortunately.
Jehovah's Witnesses, isn't it, that don't take blood? So does that tend to be among Jehovah's Witnesses, or it's other religious people who just believe in a religious solution?
There's lots and lots of examples. So here in Minneapolis, where I live, there's a huge community of Muslims who don't have I think it's smallpox.
Smallpox vaccine.
One of the diseases, either with the smallpox or the one that starts with P, polio, the ones that we eradicated in the world. Because they don't take vaccines, there's a resurgence of those diseases in those communities. So it happens in Muslim communities. Lots of Christian communities have the same thing, where they're refusing to take vaccines for COVID and other vaccines that they don't think are biblical. So it's a pretty common thing that religious medical coverage over
we've
God insurance.
We've had that here with things like the MMR, measles, mumps and rubella, and measles is coming back. I think here it's mainly people who just don't, they're just anti-vax for a multitude of reasons rather than just religious. I'm sure some of them are religious, but I think that's the minority, because that's another thing. Obviously, America is a very religious country comparatively. I could say at work, if anyone said to me, "Oh, Mr. S," I nearly said my name then, "Mr. S, what religion are you?" And I'll say, "No, I'm atheist," and I would have no qualms with doing that, and no one would be shocked or stunned, because probably, I don't know, half the people in the room at least probably are atheists. But would you feel as comfortable saying that in the States if I asked you? I suppose some people would, but is that
for me personally, no, I wouldn't care at all, because I don't have any risks of losing my employment. But there are lots and lots of serious risks of being in atheist organizations, especially in the South. Like there's the Satanist organizations, which is essentially just atheists who like to trick people.
Sorry, you just dropped out there. The atheists who like to what?
Satanists, atheists who are essentially just atheists who just troll religious people that they worship Satan, and they call themselves Satanists.
Yeah.
They can be fired from their jobs and ostracized from communities. There's a huge problem of that in America. There's this organization where there's pastors who have become atheists, and they have to stay underground, because if they admit they're atheists, of course they're going to get fired.
Although are they still pastors though?
Yeah, they're still pastors.
That is a difficult position to hold, though, isn't it? Really, I could understand that a bit.
Yeah, they've gone to college. They've spent $50,000 to get a degree in theology, and the only thing they can do with their degree is be a pastor, because what else is that degree good for? And now they've become an atheist and lost their faith. Well, what are they supposed to do? Because if they lose their job and they have no way to feed their family, because most of them have families, they just have to keep being pastors and just pretending to be Christian, because they can't just tell the truth, because their community is quite judgmental about that.
Well, I think if I was in that position, that I'd be trying to think of some solution. You know who has got a solution? Matt Dillahunty. No doubt he's he's making his living now, I presume, by doing what he does, because he went to Bible college or got a Bible degree or something, didn't he?
Well, I'm not sure
He,
what
he
his academic background is. I don't think he has a degree. I'm not sure.
but
I don't remember though.
maybe not. But he certainly was trained at the seminary. That was it. He went to the seminary, didn't he? I think that's the word. I don't know that much about it, but basically he was a religious person, fully believed, and was training, and at some point turned away. But
Yeah.
okay, but I can actually understand, if I was running the church and some of my pastors then turned around and said, you know what, we don't believe in God, well, I don't really think that their position is tenable, as their job is to preach God.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with other jobs, that aren't based around religion, whether it's working in a shop or being a news reporter or whatever, your personal beliefs in this country, for the very main part, doesn't matter a jot, which I think is a much better place to be. People can be religious, but if you're not, that's not a problem at all.
Yeah, that's what I think that what the churches should do in those cases is have a policy that if you become an atheist, we'll just move you to a different position where it's not contingent on your belief or something. And I think that would be a lot more fair than just firing you and kicking you out of your community. That seems a little bit harsh.
Yes. Yeah. Because you would think that of all employers, you would like to think, based on their philosophy, that they'd be a little more loving and understanding.
I mean, their God did drown millions of babies. So I don't
that's
know.
true.
I don't
That's
know how.
true. But then, of course, they went straight to heaven, so that's all right, isn't it? William Lane Craig. Paul Camish has just super chatted again, £5. It's a clear night. I have my telescope out, and the moon is almost full. I wish the Earth would stop rotating so I don't have to keep tracking it. Yeah, life's a bitch, Paul. Yeah, never mind. You want to get one of them there mounts, don't you? EQ mounts, which apparently, according to someone, now prove that the Earth is flat. Quite how, I don't know. I don't think that they understand an EQ mount. Oh, and some old dude has just also super chatted $5. Pastors like that should write a book. Well, actually, that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so that is like what you mentioned with Matt Dillahunty and writing a book. Those are very rarely financially successful. Those are not things that are likely to provide you with a stable income. So Matt Dillahunty is extremely lucky. I'm extremely lucky to be able to have the income that I have, but I'm already in like the top 10% of YouTubers as it is. Probably top 5 to 3% with just how much I make with 8,000 subs. So being a successful YouTuber or writing a book and having it be a commercial success are extremely, extremely rare. They're like being a sports star pretty much. It's not a reliable way to make an income.
No. But if you've got a story to tell, you may well be able to make something from it. I'm sure there's other options. But I mean, you said that you were brought up religious. Well, for me, I was brought up when I was a kid to go to church, but there was no real family background with that. So I stopped from when I was about 12 years old. Then I looked into religion again around 20 years old for a couple of years, and then that's when I finally turned away from it for good. So yeah, at that time, let's say I could imagine, okay, that I was really getting into it and decided to make my career in it, and now where I am now, could I carry on doing that career feeling how I feel today? No, I couldn't. It's not just am I lying well, you would be lying to people, wouldn't you? If you think to yourself, I don't believe in God, but then you're telling all these people that God will do this or God will do that. That is lying to them, I suppose.
Yeah. It's a huge moral dilemma that people in that situation have to go through, which is very unpleasant, that you have this career path based on a subjective belief and then you lose the belief, and everyone around you is essentially wanting you to reinforce their belief of that thing you no longer believe in.
Yeah. I couldn't do it. And I would definitely have to do something, even if it was... I think, to be honest, I would feel so uncomfortable. I would stack shelves in the supermarket or whatever. I would rather do that than tell people things that I felt or knew not to be true. I couldn't live with myself.
But if you had to risk losing your family's food source, would you still do it?
Yeah, that's a good point. I would have to find some way. I would have to. I just well, it's very difficult, Tom, and I would not want to be in that position. And I feel for the people who are in that position. But like you said, it would be nice if the church, with the people who it finds are in that position, dealt with them in a more supportive manner. Hey, by treating them like that, you may persuade them that they're wrong, and that, look, the church is still showing me love. Maybe they're right. Yeah, it's a possibility, isn't it?
Yep. Oh, I remembered. It's the Clergy Project. The Clergy Project is an organization, a worldwide organization for pastors who have left the faith.
Okay.
To help them out.
The Clergy Project. There's another super chat from some old dude again, $5. A children's book, Start 'em Young. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, you get the children, you got them for life, haven't you? And someone else pointed out that in the UK, most Christians are nominal Christians. There is a lot of the do church on a Sunday and weddings and weddings, christenings, and funerals, and that's it. And other than that, you don't think about it. But I think that's a lot less. When I was young, Sundays were Sundays. All the shops were shut. There was nothing to do, and a lot more people went to church. But now it's just not that important to a great many people. I know that it is to some.
Yeah, just the great irony is that churches in the UK were funded by the government. Churches in America were not funded by the government, but because of that, in America had to fight like a natural selection style for support from their bases, which made them much more virulent strains of religion and got much more people involved. And so now we have the virulent Delta versions of religion in our country, and you guys have the
but I'm not so sure about the fun. I mean, I know that the US has got separation of church and state, and the Church of England is, the Queen is the head of the Church of England, but I think it's quite traditional. I don't think there's any real connection. Although, having said that, there's a number of bishops that's sat, I don't know if they still do, get a place in the House of Lords and help vote on some of our laws. They're not voted in, they're bishops, so they get in, a number of them. I think they've cut the number of those, though. I always felt
I think
uncomfortable.
the churches in the UK, aren't they funded by the government, so that they get paid by the government?
No. I mean, the Church of England is very wealthy. It owns a lot of land and got masses of investments and so on for historic reasons. So I think they're okay, although they also have an income from their members. But due to the membership falling, more and more of those churches are struggling and either closing or having various issues. But other because there's lots of other churches here, just like there are in the States, perhaps not quite so many. And for them, I think they pretty much have to be independent. That's my understanding. If anyone knows different, let me know. And actually, there's another couple of super chats come in. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate this. Let's just refresh and have a look at this. All right, yes. Second best, Bob. Again, thanks, Bob. £5. Imagine if there really is a God and heaven. You die, get to heaven to be with God, and bask in his glory forever. Sounds a bit boring to me. I'll let you into a secret. When I was a kid, I said I did go to church, and I always remember in the Lord's Prayer it says, "Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." And the only thing I could think of, bearing in mind I was about 8 or 9 years old, was, hold on, heaven? That's where it's all these little angels that haven't got any clothes on and that playing harps. I don't want to be sat around with no clothes on. Hey. And Cygnus TSP, super chat $5 US. Check out Bishop John Shelby Spong. Is that really his name? He's making it up. Bishop John Shelby Spong, who didn't believe in God but held his position in the Episcopal Church and wrote successful books. Yeah. Well, I've a feeling that there's quite a few priests and whatever in this country who, okay, the resurrection, it's just a story, and this is just very very lily livered Christians. I think there's a lot of that.
Oh, actually, cultural Christians, I think, is what we call them here.
So what do you call them?
Cultural Christians, the people who the culture of Christianity but don't actually believe in any of the
The
spiritual
actual
stuff.
stuff. Yes. Oh, and it's some old dude. You're busy. Thank you very much, sir. Just super chat $5 US. Churches in the US should not be tax exempt. Yes. What do you
That
think about
is
that?
I mean, that's a good idea. So, like, making churches not tax exempt, though, has a really big side effect. It means that they can then, because in America, governments or companies are people, so companies can donate to political organizations and give them lots of money. And so, if churches could then had to pay taxes, then they could also contribute to political figures. And so then we would see a lot more of the more religious figureheads being given a significant more portion of money. And so that would be the downside to making them taxed. But taxing them would also provide a lot of social services that we could then fund. So but then if the religious people got into office, they would then defund all those social services. So there's
Yeah,
positives and negatives to that policy.
yeah. I did hear a story. I don't know the details, but the rough idea that some church was doing some sort of tax wiggle or claiming for some sort of money to do something to help with the building of their church. So very dodgy considering the separation of church and state, but they got away with whatever this was. So some Muslims locally thought, oh, good, we'll do that as well. And then the Christians really hated that these Muslims were getting benefit from the tax system or whatever the thing was. I don't know if it rings a bell with you at all, but
Oh, that happens a lot. So the most hilarious example is the Ark Park. The Ark Park was given several like $50 million in funding from the government to build itself, which was just ridiculous. The young Earth creationist, they built a scale size version of the Ark with all Noah's animals in it, and they got a lot of government funding, and that's not good.
no,
Just because they're developing real estate and
maybe
raising
that
the
was it.
property values, but
And
yeah,
then, and
I
did
don't.
that then happen that some Muslims applied for something similar, and that
I don't think so. I
uh,
don't not in
but
that state
okay,
because
but
that state is
it
super.
okay, but it was a similar sort of thing. You see that they were very clever, managed to wheedle their way around all the rules so that they either got some money or were supported in some way. But then they were spitting feathers when some Muslims did exactly the same. Hey, fair
Yep.
enough. I mean,
Yep.
I believe in absolute separation of church and state. If someone wants to be religious, as wrong as I feel they are, I feel they have the right to hold those beliefs. I feel more uncomfortable with those beliefs being taught to children. Um, but yeah, I don't think the state should support any religion at all.
Yeah, I totally agree. And many of the atheist communities have been doing the same thing. They follow the same pattern religious people do and say, "Oh, they got a religious exemption, so we're going to start our own religion now. We're going to call it the Satanist religion or the Spaghetti Monster religion, and
Yep.
then we're going to be tax exempt now."
Bless his noodly appendage, of course.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean that was another thing that was inspired that lad who wrote that letter to whichever educational board, wasn't it, about the spaghetti monster, demanding equal time for all the theories: evolution, creation, and flying spaghetti monsterism. I mean, it was absolute pure logic, but I don't think they could understand that.
Yeah, the Texas Board of Education is not known for its logic.
No, no. But when I first heard of spaghetti monsterism, pastafarianism, isn't it? Um,
Yep.
Absolutely brilliant. And there's another super chat from Channel Right. Thank you, Channel. £5. I'm an atheist, so let's create heaven on earth. I think UK churches get tax breaks. Okay, I'm just don't know about that, Channel. You know, if you say so. In which case, I think that's wrong. I feel a bit uncomfortable as well in that there's a good side in that the Church of England supports a lot of schools in this country, Tom, and in some areas it's almost the only choice. It was in my area. My daughter had to go to Church of England school. Now, to be clear, it's not like it's rammed down their necks. It's more the ethos of the school. But there's a certain amount of religion, and I don't feel comfortable that it should be left to a state that a church is providing and running schools. I think that should be the government, the education department or whatever. But,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think there's a lot of private Catholic Christian schools here. I went to them, and they do lots of ridiculous religious stuff, like mass is on Wednesdays and Sundays. Like they move the mass to Wednesday just so they can force the students to go to the mass, which is ridiculous. But yeah, I think that's education for kids should be monitored very closely, and we should make them do the very least stuff required for them to become successful adults, which would include getting rid of all religious garbage.
Yeah. The position I was in with Mrs. Sensible is going back at the time when we first met. She was religious. I'm not. And when it came to children, of course, you think, right, what do we do? What do we tell them? And that's a really tough circle to square, because one of us is not going to get our wishes, if you like. And the agreement we came to was that they would go to church when they were young. However, when they said, I don't want to go, if we said, well, why don't you want to go? If they just sort of said, well, I'd rather sit here and watch telly or whatever, that wasn't good enough. But if they turned around and said, well, I don't believe in God because of this, however we felt about that argument, then at that point they would no longer have to go. And it's worked quite successfully. In my eldest daughter, she is religious, and she actually works with sort of religious charity. But my other two are not. They're both atheist. It's a tough ask. I don't know your background, Tom, and I don't wish to pry. But have you ever been, or could you imagine yourself in that position? How would you equate that? If there's you, an atheist, if your partner is a Christian, Muslim, whatever, so one of you wants a religious upbringing for children, the other doesn't, how would you square that circle? Or would you do something similar, do you think?
Well, I am a sellout for hot blonde, so if she was a hot blonde, I would convert to flat earthism and just teach them flat earthism every day.
Well, there you go. That's probably a more persuasive argument than anything Nathan Oakley's put forward. Yeah, that's what we want.
When we do that debate on flat Earth, I think this is going to be my strategy. I think this is a good argument to go with.
What, you're just going to be you're going to turn up as a blonde bombshell to win your argument, are you? So you won't be able to persuade them with the globe Earth, but hey, you're that good looking, they'll go with it.
That's the thing. It's going to get a nice enough wig, some makeup. We got this.
Yeah. This channel is going downhill fast. Oh man. Well, do actually have a couple of people in the live waiting room, Tom. I don't know if you what's the time there? It's 10:30 here. So what's it, about 4:30 where you are?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you got sort of half an hour just to chat a little more if I bring a couple of people in, or do you need to run off? Or
Sure. It'll be another 50, but we'll be fine.
Yeah. Okay. And of course, internet time I charge back at probably about the same rate, All right, let's bring them in. We've got a guy who had a channel called Casual Spaceman. Nice guy. Let me bring him in. Hello, good evening, Kaj. How are you?
Good evening. How are you?
Well, I'm a bit louder than you. Let me turn you up a bit. You're here live with myself and TJump, and I'm going to bring in Captain Welshie as well. Hello, Captain Welshie. How are you? Quiet.
Oh, you said you... Oh, there you go.
There you are. Yeah, how are you guys?
Yeah, doing good. Got a little message from Colon to say that he was feeling a bit hot and bothered and tired, and so he's gone to cool himself down and get some rest.
Oh, not because of the idea of TJump in a blonde wig.
That might have had something to do with it. I don't know. But yeah, doing good. Just very hot.
Yeah, it's understandable. So, what do you guys think about any of the stuff that Tom and I have talked about tonight? Anything you agree with, disagree with?
I couldn't really disagree with much, to be honest with you. I'm an atheist. I'm also a humanist as well. So I've got still have a respect for for religions. My thoughts really just are that all humanists really believe. Obviously, they don't believe in a non-omnipotent being. We believe that you live your life to the fullest, because if you believe that there's another life, an alternate life, or an afterlife, then you're not going to live your life to the fullest. So that's why we don't believe in an afterlife. We also believe in removing the from church from state as well. That's the other thing. But,
Yes.
Yeah, but pretty much everything you said, I can't really disagree with at all.
So you heard it here first. TJump is right about everything. Everything I say is correct, and just
Yeah, no, I that's what I heard, TJump, and he couldn't disagree with anything either of us said, which means that I'm also totally correct with everything I said. Well, that's nice, isn't it?
Being correct is subjective, isn't it? I mean, somebody else might disagree with you there, but yeah.
Yeah, but they'd be wrong, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Who are they to argue with me and Tom?
Said I don't disagree with you, Mr. S, or with TJump. To be honest, I don't have any personal problem with religion, but I do not believe in it.
Yeah.
And I personally, I don't even believe in people's beliefs, but when you start stepping out the boundaries of extremism, that's when I have a problem with it.
So stepping out the boundaries of what?
Extremism?
Oh, extremism. Yeah.
Into extremism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never really understood that with things like the Islamic State. Okay, so you've got your religious views, which a great many people disagree with. Do you really think that going around chopping people's heads off is going to solve anything? And even if there's several tens of thousands of you, you ain't going to convert the whole world. Where do you think you're going with this?
Well, I think religion in itself, I think, because I've heard this argument before, that they say that religions cause wars. I don't believe that, because religion is a human construct, just as violence is. So I think people like ISIS and all the rest of it really only use it for as a catalyst, really, for political means and also hatred, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
And that's the same with any kind of religious extremism.
Demonizing the opposition.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think again, that's where my humanist principles come from. We don't believe that religion causes wars. I think because people cause wars.
I'm not sure I would agree with that. So I would say that there are certain tenets in religion that are indoctrinated into the children and the people who believe it. So, for example, if you change a few lines of the Quran, I think Sam Harris used this argument. If you said, instead of atheists or people who leave the faith shall be killed, if you said all redheads will be killed, well, then you would find an equally prevalent epidemic of the slaughtering of redheads instead of the slaughtering of atheists, because the reason that those people are targeted is not because of the people who wrote, who created the religion, but because the book itself said this, and this is what is taught to the children who are brought up in the religion. And so I think that the religion doctrines that the religion teaches are in fact a contribution to violence and to war, which just the human feelings themselves wouldn't explain, like the fact that halal meat or kosher meat are prevalent in those religions isn't simply because of human desires. It's a really arbitrary criterion that happens to be what was written in the text, and that doctrine has been passed down, and which is why that arbitrary criterion is so prevalent. And I think that many of those arbitrary criterions would include reasons that we went to war and kill people.
I see where you're coming from, but who created those tenets and who created those criteria?
Humans, of course.
Humans did, yeah, exactly. So so that's why I think it's a human construct. It's not. It's really a figment. That's all it is. Religion is just a figment. Okay, yeah, I understand. I hear what you're saying. It was created. Whatever religion it might be, it could be hundreds of years or thousands of years ago, and it's passed down. But still, because if you look at modern day ISIS at the moment, if you look at what they actually believe and what's it called, Sharia law, right? It's just a social political set of rules. That's really all it is. And any political theology is just a human construct. So what they're actually using is they're using that as a catalyst, as a means to actually put their view of the world onto other people. And if you don't like it, then you die. That's not. So it's not the religion itself in itself that's actually creating the hatred. Although I hear what you're saying, because people will actually be brought up into that, and therefore they're doing it. But still, it's still there. It's still a human construct. Whenever it was started, or however it was actually started, human beings started it. There's no.
Well, I mean,
human construct.
I could understand your point if all religions had the same effect, but if you take an extremist Buddhist or an extremist Jainist and compare that to an extremist Muslim or an extremist Christian, there's vastly different levels of violence in those positions. Like an extremist Jainist is someone who like wears a cheesecloth over their mouth so they don't take in a fly because they're so infatuated with the doctrines of nonviolence, which are the fundamental tenets of that religion. And so I think that even though religions are reflections of humans' natures who wrote them, or the tenets that were important who wrote them, the fact that that religion focuses on very specific parts of human nature is a feature of the religion itself and not just a feature of human nature in general. And so I think that the fact that certain religions focus on certain aspects of human nature make them more prevalent to encourage violence than others. And so I think that the religion itself, because it focuses on those particular tenets of human nature as opposed to other ones, is a factor in contributing to violence and war, as opposed to other religions that focus on different tenets like Jainism or Buddhism.
I couldn't disagree with that. But then if you look at the values of what Christianity is supposed to mean. It's supposed to be a love, and that you have an omnipotent being. Yes, Jesus Christ is supposed to love us all, and all the rest of it as well. Okay, it's supposed to be built on love and understanding, but you can still get extremism within Christianity. You still get extremism within Catholicism. It does happen. Same with Judaism. Fair enough. Yeah, there are. What's that? Happy Father's Day to the best dad in the world. In the whole.
My daughter made it.
You just put me right off my train of thought there.
Sorry, she keeps asking me, have you shown it on your live stream yet? And I kept forgetting. Yeah, my daughter made that. Sorry, guys. Let me just read a couple of super chats, which might feed into some of what you're talking about. First one, not so much. Now Opinion super chatted 55 krona. When Little Miss now asks me about Jesus, I find it very hard to explain in a proper way. We are completely godless in our family. Any parental tips? Well, actually, now, if you want to drop me a line sometime, I'm happy to chat about that. Okay, it is difficult, but the two which seem to be more related. Some old dude super chat $5. If you want to live your life to the fullest, what does believing in an afterlife have to do with that? To my mind, what it means, I forget, was that you, Matt, or was it you, Captain, mentioned about?
No, it was me. Yeah,
it was you. The fact that if you're guaranteed an afterlife or whatever, what does this one matter? I think that's where you're coming from when you say that.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's that general concept I think we put forward is that you believe in this and believe in Jesus as your savior, therefore you're going to go to heaven, or believe in Allah and follow his laws, then you are going to go to heaven. You're going to get 72 virgins or whatever it might be, all these wonderful things. So they paint this picture of this wonderful place that you're going to go to. So I don't really think that necessarily Christians will leave fuller lives necessarily than somebody who may be a humanist. I'm speaking in general terms for that very reason. So I think that's the reason for it, and that's kind of what we believe. If we think that if you know that you have one life, and eventually at some point we all agree we're going to stop breathing and die. That's just nature. You can't get away from it. So if you try and live your life to the fullest, you're going to live a much more fulfilled life than actually thinking that, okay, well, when I die, I'm going to go to heaven, and therefore I'm going to get all these wonderful things. Because it doesn't really matter. I can't really simplify it anymore.
I agree, and that's how I took what you said as well, Matt. Mitvelt.
Well, I would disagree a bit. So I'd say that religion has been extremely beneficial to people's psychology. Like there's tons and tons of studies on happiness level of people who are religious versus the happiness level of people who are atheists. And in general, people who are religious tend to be happier because, of course, they have this inflated view that there is this ultimate sky daddy who's looking out for them, and they have an ultimate life that's coming after them, and they're going to see all of their dead relatives again. Which obviously, if you had that belief, you'd be a lot less depressed because the world would be a lot less depressing in general. And so, having these false beliefs can actually be very beneficial psychologically for people and give them a false but nonetheless real positive emotional state that isn't there without those false beliefs. And so it can actually make people happier to believe false things. And so, like, even though I accept atheism is true, I would, if believing would make me happier, I would still prefer to believe than to be an atheist, because I think happiness is more important than truth, and they aren't always connected.
I don't think I'm necessarily talking about whether you're happier or not. It's actually filling your life with more, a lot more things. Like, I suppose,
What, as in worthwhile things, or
like a bucket list or something like that. More worthwhile things, not necessarily happiness. Yeah, I totally agree with you that people that believe in lots of different things can be generally a lot happier and a lot less depressed. And I totally agree. I would never disagree with that. But it's just filling your life with more things, that you enjoy, or what other people might enjoy, whatever reason might you be, whether it's helping other people or whether it's going traveling the world or whatever it might be. But that's pretty much really where I was coming from.
Well, the other point that came in from Mitt Velkez for £5, thank you, which is to do with the extremism side of things. Extremist religions are supported by moderates. Moderates support extremism just by existing. What do you think of that then, guys?
Yeah, that's technically true. So, like, if we take extremist Islam versus extremist Jainism, there are obviously violent people in every single religion. That's definitely violent people in every ideology, because part of humans are just inherently violent. But being violent in a religion which violence means that you're much more likely to get funding, support, views, all kinds of things from the moderates, because they identify with the religion that you share, and what you're doing as an extremist is condoned by the religion, then they will feel religiously justified supporting you. Whereas if what you're doing is contradicting a religion, like Matt mentioned, Christianity is founded on Jesus, a guy, and so things would be against a large portion of people's interpretation of Christianity, means they're far less likely to give to someone who was a violent Christian. Whereas if you believe in a much more violence-prone religion, then you have a much larger base that you're going to get support from. And so that's another one of the features where I think that the religion itself is in fact a contributing factor to violence.
So do you think that the world would be a better off place if it never had religion, Tom? I mean, you said that it can make people happy, which I do understand. But if we scrubbed it from the history books, no one's ever heard of it, no one's thought about this thing called God, do you think the world would be a better place or no different?
Oh, definitely it would be a worse place. So religion was extremely better than that was before religion. So religion is a feature of evolution that was replacing, or that was useful in a way that it produced cohesive activities of groups in order to make us more stable as a species, so that we can have larger cooperative societies. Because if you're Christian and they're Christian, okay, well, now you have the same values and you can adopt the same principles. You can go into their society. You know what you're supposed to do. Whereas if you're Christian and they're volcano Mayans or whatever, and you go into their society and you act completely differently, you're not going to get along very well. So these religious ideas worked as a way to promote cohesion and similar values within a group, which produced much more successful societies. And without that, there would be a lot more war and disagreement. So religion was better than the thing before it, but obviously today we can replace it with something even better than that, which is like science, rationalism, humanism, any of those kinds of things. But I don't think that getting rid of religion would be a good thing any more than getting rid of, for example, spears would be a good thing. Like, obviously spears did a bad thing. Lots of killing was done with spears, but it was an improvement to the stuff before that allowed us to move move on technologically to the next step. And so I think religion overall is kind of like that. It's a stepping stone socially that helped humans in a great many ways. That's why it's so successful. That's why religion is prevalent everywhere in the world, was because it was extremely beneficial from an evolutionary standpoint. And not having that stepping stone, I don't think would be a good thing for humanity overall. I think that it's a good thing that we did have religion and that we moved on from the thing that was before it. But I think that now it's time that we move on to the next thing.
I was just going to say about okay, so we've had historically had religion and the benefits that it has brought. Should it be lost now? Thinking that there's actually quite a kickback by many religious against science. And obviously they're feeding into things like, okay, flat earth, but that's a joke, but they're feeding back into things like anti-vax and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. So now that we have a more successful methodology that has brought more benefits, which is science, and many things in science contradict religious tenets, there's a conflict between religion and science, and we have to decide which one's better. And, well, science is the better one by definitively without any kind of debate whatsoever. And so we should definitely say, as the Dalai Lama said, if science and Buddhism contradict, science is right. And so I respect the leader of the Buddhist faith there, because he got exactly right in that statement.
But of course, if you decided, right, actually we'll ditch science, we'll go back to religion, then the question is, which is the right one? Because there's no point having the wrong one.
Yeah, it's whichever one you were born into, because then it makes you feel good.
Funny that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Funny that.
True.
So Sleet has just said, is the Borg a religion? Well, I don't know about that, but I am a Jedi. I did put that down on the census in whatever year it was. Religion, Jedi. Yeah, I did. Had to be done.
Was it? There wasn't a tick box for a Jedi there. I'll take it.
No, it was
You wrote it.
other, and you could specify. So
Jedi.
put Jedi. Yeah, there were thousands of us, because the rumor went round that if enough people said that they were Jedi, it would become a recognised religion. That was not true, but just on the off chance, the idea of actually being a Jedi.
Well, it's true in America. You can actually make a religion for being a Jedi, and it has to be recognized as a real religion. So.
Oh, I'm sure you could here, but the idea of, oh, well, if 10,000 people or however many thousand people just put that down on the census, then it's a religion. That's not the case. There would have to be certain things you meet, whether that's, I don't know, collective worship and whatever else. And I'm sure that must be the case in America. You couldn't, Tom, I presume you couldn't just go into some office tomorrow and say, right, I'm registering Jumpism as the new religion, could you? Or would you have to have something to show for it?
Oh no, you can register anything as a religion. There's this absolutely hilarious episode of John Oliver. He's from your side of the pond, but he came over to America to do talk show television, and he showed the process of what it takes to actually start a religion, and he did it. He has an HBO comedy show.
Yes.
I'm just going to ask what the process was. So yeah, you're answering that right now.
Do you know, I'm sure I've seen that, Tom, and he sent off a few forms, and yes.
So it's simple as that. So is there not a minimum criteria to?
I think there was some minimum criteria. I think didn't he have to have something like what do you call it, a congregation? So when he was doing a talk show, he said, "You guys are my congregation," so I can tick that box. It was really easy. It was really easy.
Well, yeah, but I mean, any of us would also qualify for that, because we have a congregation here on YouTube. Anybody who gets more than 10 viewers has a congregation and can start their own religion.
Yeah, but that probably rules out Nathan Oakley, because I think most of those are himself.
What's the benefit if you register as a religion in the
tax
States?
exempt?
What if it's
tax exempt? Now all their income is no longer taxable. So if I registered as a religion, then all of my income is no longer taxed from YouTube.
So it's slightly different in the UK, because you actually have to register as a charity. So you have to prove that what you actually did, the money that you've actually getting from donations, you're actually using it for the purposes that you actually state it's used for.
And you could take an income, but then that income would be taxed, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But
in America, it works slightly differently, because have you guys heard of Joel Osteen, the super rich millionaire?
Yes, I've heard of him. Yeah,
I haven't heard of that.
So you can buy yourself an airplane or a jet or a Ferrari with your congregation's donations as a part to spread your religion. If it is in your religion, that is a good thing. Like, because he's a prosperity gospel, which means that
Yes.
being rich is an inherent part of their religion. So it's actually technically, well, in some strange sense, it is a part of his religion to get more money and buy cool stuff.
I know. And it's all these. I need a private jet because I don't want to fly in one of those public ones with all those other. I don't want to be in a tube in the sky filled with demons. Who was that? That wasn't Oral Roberts, was it?
No, that was. I do know who you're
It's that
talking
guy
about.
with the. He's got demon eyes, hasn't he? He's a really awful looking bloke.
Is it Copeland something?
Kenneth Copeland. That's it. Yeah. And many years ago, I did see one of these televangelists being interviewed, and the interviewer actually said, "Look, I notice that you've got lots of jewelry. And you had all these diamond rings on or whatever." And the cheek of this guy turned around and said, "Well, God wants me to get used to the treasures in heaven."
Yeah.
Man, that's bad. We got Gary Y. Benga in the house, no less. Good evening, Gary Y. Benga.
Hello, Gary.
We were all talking about you earlier. Too late now, though. You're going to have to watch the whole stream again. We likes our Gary. And Gary, what we were saying was that the fact that you, as the opposition, are welcome in here. You can make your comments. We'll disagree with them as long as there's no copy pasting. And I said that was the agreement we came to, and you have been sticking to it. So good for you, Gary. Thank you. So there you go. We weren't having a go. This is a private jet to facilitate better charity. Oh man!
I think the word they use is that we use the jet is used to bring the word of God around the country.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they never heard of. Where are you? You're somewhere in the middle of America, I think, Tom. And we're able to talk all the way across the. Do you know? I need a jet. I should be doing this with you in person, shouldn't I? Can I start a GoFundMe for a sensible jet?
And make it tax deductible.
Yeah, definitely.
But didn't that guy he didn't actually just have one jet, wasn't he? He
had
didn't
two or three, didn't he?
Yeah. Once he got funded for the first one, and God tells me I need a second jet before my staff and for, oh God.
Wasn't it then found that although it was for his churching, his family went on trips and holidays and goodness knows what with it? Yeah.
That's I've heard that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, see, I mean, there are people here in this country, Tom, who fall for televangelism, but I think it's very much an American thing than a British. It's nothing like that. I mean, you've got whole TV stations, haven't you? These people have TV stations. What about that Harold? What was his name? Harold, the guy who said the Earth was going to end. Can't remember his name.
That's actually a really common thing. There's about 36 of them that are extremely popular here who said that.
Yeah, but he had thousands of people, but there was one guy who sold his house and everything to give the money to it, and of course it didn't quite end. So Harold Camping, that was it. Harold Camping then came up with another date about 18 months later, and it didn't end then either. Yeah, I think it probably ended for the guy who gave all his money away. Very sad.
I think they made a documentary about that, about all the people who lost their homes.
Yeah. Despicable. Absolutely despicable. And it's not the first time. Well, that was 2 times. But it's not the first time he'd done it. He'd made predictions of the end of the world many times before, based on numerology in the Bible.
Yeah. I mean, that brings you all into, bring yourself into cult territory. And that kind of concerns me as well. If it's so easy to set up a religion in the States, you're therefore designated as a religion, so therefore you get attacked as quickly as that. So it's going to be quite easy to actually fund your false religion to give you all the money, and then eventually bring people to suicide because you want to die. What do you do? And that's happened, Jonestown and others and stuff like that. So yeah.
Then you had those ones who committed suicide with some UFO cult they felt was it behind Halley's Comet was coming to.
Yeah. What was he called again? I've forgotten the name. Can't even remember the name. The cult.
Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate. That's
yes.
the one. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, Heaven's Gate.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
I'm so.
And then Jonestown went into another whole level altogether. That was crazy, absolutely crazy.
Was that the ones who
What
drank
was-
Kool-Aid or whatever?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that's where the term drinking the Kool-Aid comes from.
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. Yep. Yeah.
What was the one in Texas? Well, Waco.
Yeah, Brian David and David Koresh. Yeah.
Yes. Koresh or Koresh?
Koresh, I think you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Koresh.
Waco, so Gary Isle of Wight. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a complete disaster. Yeah.
It's scary. I mean, they sort of become isolationists, don't they? Like survivalists and weapon up.
Yeah.
So I guess that's something that can happen more easily in the States than here, Tom. That's not being pro or anti-gun, but that physically are next to no guns in this country, comparatively speaking. So
There's a YouTuber actually. She appears on the Shills time. Ad Astra, I think you call her. She she seems to have a lot of knowledge about cults, and I think she's a psychologist or sociologist, and it's something that she is kind of favourable in. I don't know how much she's actually done on the channel. I haven't really had a chance to look at it, but have a look on the Shills. Sometimes they talk about cults from time to time. I think on one of their shows, what's it called? I think it's 4 or something. I don't know. I can't remember.
oh yes, I know the one.
Yeah,
Uncalled For.
Uncalled For. That's it. Yeah, they were talking about cults the other week. So yeah, if you get a chance, have a look at Ad Astra. Look her up as well. And I think that there's probably some videos about cults. She seems to know stuff about that. It's quite interesting. You know, and you know what makes a cult. And actually, you know, one of the questions that was actually asked during the show was, "Is flat Earth a cult?" And she going by the criteria they actually said. I can't exactly know what the criteria they actually use is, but she says no, they're not really a cult, but they have very cult
Behaviours.
Yeah. So it's cult-like, but not actually a cult. Because if you look at it, to a certain extent, they're actually the most part they're free to leave. They can.
Yeah, well, you're saying that, Matt. You're saying that, but that's one of their cult-like behaviours. Look at people like Seek Truth, Speak Truth, and Ranty. There's disconnection. Obviously, if you leave a group that you had friends in, you're not going to be maintaining the same level of friendship. But they didn't just drop the friendship; they turned on them.
Yeah.
They're traitors. Do you know what I mean?
But they still, absolutely. I totally agree, because I mean, you look at particularly Ranty. I remember, couple of days after he decided that he was not a flat earther. I think it was one of the flat earth streams. I don't know. It was have been Oakley, because they don't like each other. Somebody else's, and some guy came on, and I don't know who it was, but he was screaming at him and calling him a scumbag, the rest of it. And it's just, whoa, hold on a second. You know, this is all about what you actually believe. There's no loyalty. And Ranty was always of the opinion that, you know, fine, if you think something differently to me, then persuade me. I'm just trying to find the truth. You know, and eventually he found the truth. He found what was real.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of respect for that.
Yeah, so that those people that were screaming out to that particular guy was showing sort of cultish behaviour. But it's still, at the end of the day, you know, Ranty and all those people still have a choice. They can leave. They're not going to be killed, or they've not given away all their money, and they're not forced to give away their money. So I think, you know, probably isn't a cult, but very cult.
Someone in here said, biggest dogger said, cult like, but in reality, just stupid.
Yes. yeah. Stupid like, yeah.
Monty Python reference.
Yeah.
Life of Brian.
Yeah, biggest dickus.
He
has a wife, you know. Do you want to know what she's called? Incontinentia buckets.
Yeah, that's right.
And the channel's gone. Oh, listen, Tom, it's been cracking having you on here. I've really enjoyed it. I do enjoy your stuff. Sorry, can a mod, because I haven't got the link to hand, but can a mod put a link to TJump's channel again in the chat? And there is a hot link to TJump in the description, of course. So if you haven't, please check out Tom's channel. Very, very. I said to Tom earlier, when he's debating, he appears so relaxed and laid back and mild, and he absolutely slaughters them. And half the time they don't even realise how they've been slaughtered. So cracking stuff. So I thoroughly recommend it.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. It was a pleasure coming on. Really appreciate the invite and the suggestion from my viewer.
Yeah, that was a good one, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Really enjoyed talking with you, especially about the Monty Python stuff and the jokes.
Well, listen, Tom, you're always welcome. If ever I'm streaming, you happen to have some time, if you just fancy dropping in, just hop into the live waiting room, and then just like I did with Welshie and Matt here, at the appropriate time, I'll drag people in, and you always be welcome, sir.
Cool. Sounds great. I will do that. Thanks again for having me on. Really appreciate it. Thanks, guys, for showing up. Thanks for Matt and Captain Welshie. Enjoyed talking with you guys as well. And I'm going to go eat some dinner, so I will see you guys later.
Can I just ask, though, before you go, Tom, have you got any new content upcoming that you want to shill out?
I think I have some stuff planned. I'm probably going to copy the debate I had on Fight the Flat Earth over to my channel pretty soon. But I know I set up stuff on my calendar, and I don't look at it until the day I actually have to do it. So, but yeah, I have a debate on Modern Day Debate Saturday. Probably, I think it's against a flat earther actually, and then I have a conversation with Professor Richard Brown from LaGuardia in New York on Monday. Those are the two things I have planned right now.
Cool. Well, excellent. Once again, thank you very much, sir.
Later.
Yeah, see you later. And what I'll do, Tom, and with Captain Welshie and Matt, I'll pop you into the live waiting room. You're welcome to stay and chat, and anyone else who wants to hop in and chat with anyone who's still there is welcome to, and I'll wrap the stream, okay? So, Captain Welshie, Matt, Tom, sir, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. And I'm popping them all into the waiting room. What a great stream. I really, really enjoyed that. Talking to Tom. First time, excuse me, first time I've actually spoken to Tom. As I said, I have seen a lot of his stuff, but only had watched it on Modern Day Debates. And he's got a whole load more on his channel. So I shall be checking that out. I subscribed tonight. That was very lax of me not to have been subscribed before. I am now. What I will say is I have just started a totally unrelated channel. Please have a look at it, see what you think. It's called God of Small Worlds, setting up ecospheres and then checking up on them a few months later. The first one has actually been the first two have been running for nearly 3 months, but I'm only just releasing the first video, and I'm creating yet another ecosphere. Yeah, you might find it interesting. It may not be your cup of tea. If you know of any really short people, also known as children, they might find it interesting because there's all sorts of critters and that living in these worlds. Anyway, please sound it out. I just see there's a super chat. I've got to read that, haven't I? Got to read that. Can't let that go. That was would have been rather sad. Let's just refresh. I've got to get this fixed sometime. It's been like this for months. It's from Tim Tully for $10 US. Politics is a compound word. Poly from the Greek meaning many, and ticks, blood-sucking insects. Excellent, Tim. Really appreciate that. Nice one. So what I do is I'll say thank you very much. I hope to have a video out in the next couple of days. I've actually found it really hard to work with the heat because when the aircon's on, it's screaming. With the doors or windows open, instead, it's still too hot, and I don't do heat. But I am working on a video right now. Hope to see you all soon. Until next time, gets himself prepped. Stay sensible.
Mr. Sensible, Mr. Sensible, bring me some cheese, and get me only the best if you please, best if you please. Here are some flowers, let me display them. Yea, Dr. Warner, you have Arnold slay them. Mr. Sensible, you are a man. Every subscriber is a faithful fan. Bring your logic and your cheese. Mr. Sensible, help us out, please. Mr. Sensible, I needed proof of gravity, so I jump off the roof. It's hard enough, let me go further. Why was I ever such a darn flat earther, Mr. Sensible? I'm such a clown. Mr. Sensible, Mr. Sensible, bring me a sphere, to which the waters of the oceans adhere, have explanations that let me be candid. So clear that all the fluffers understand it, Mr. Sensible, Mr. Sensible, please hear my call, the earth is not flat, so let's have a ball, so bring your logic and your cheese, Mr. Sensible.